Today I will recap a novel called Star Wars: Light of the Jedi. The novel was written by Charles Soule, and is set approximately 200 years before the events of Star Wars: The Phantom Menace. Jedi paved the way for the galaxy in the High Republic before the First Order, the Empire, and even the Phantom Menace. It is a prosperous era. Worlds prosper under the compassionate guidance of the Senate, and peace is enforced by the knowledge and might of the renowned order of Force users known as the Jedi. Brave hyperspace scouts extend the Republic's reach to the farthest stars. The free people of the galaxy are confident in their capacity to withstand any adversity with the Jedi at the peak of their power. However, even the strongest light has the potential to throw a shadow, and certain storms can be unprepared for. Under the command of Captain Hedda Kisit, the freighter Legacy Run is making a normal run towards the Outer Rim territories while transporting some cargo and some 9,000 people to the galaxy's edge. During her evening patrols of the ship, Captain Kisit reprimands young Sir Jakarian for attempting to access holos that were not appropriate for his age and makes sure a shipment of the flammable liquid Tybana is securely guarded. But right after she gets back to the bridge, the seemingly unthinkable occurs: a hyperspace obstacle that is dead ahead and about to hit her. The Legacy Run's enormous age, more than a century, catch up with Kisit as she tries to navigate it past the obstruction. She only has time to close the passenger cabins before passing away. On board the Outer System Monitoring Station in the Hetzal system, Scantex Mervyn Getter and Vel Karan are performing their jobs and not doing them, respectively, when they are abruptly alerted to the presence of several entrances into real space. The two immediately recognize that the star system is in dire jeopardy when the new guests arrive without being scheduled. They succeed in sending a warning to Hetzal Prime, but before they can go to their shuttle, their space station is destroyed. Minister Zephyrin Eka is informed of the catastrophe occurring inside his system on Hetzal's surface. They are able to contact the Galactic Republic by using the teenage technician Kevin Tarr, and Jedi Master Avar Kriss, who is traveling on the Emissary-class Republic cruiser Third Horizon from the Starlight Beacon space station, answers the call. When the cruiser enters the system, its complement of Republic Longbeam and Jedi Vector cruisers launches, with those on board dispersing to offer any assistance they can while Kriss directs the operation from the Third Horizon's bridge. To aid in the evacuation of residents, Jedi Master Loden Greatstorm and his Padawan Bel Zettifar are among the first to reach Hetzal Prime's surface. They come across a gated community where armed guards are preventing a frantic mob from approaching a spacecraft. After Greatstorm and Zettifar defeat a band of would-be pirates, he uses his status as a Jedi to convince the guards to let the several settlers who are pleading to be permitted on board to leave with the family who lives in the mansion. A Republic Longbeam flown by Joss and Pika Adran collaborates with a group of Vectors led by Jedi Tiami, Michael Sutmani, and Nibasek, as well as her Padawan Buryaga Agaburi, in order to destroy a piece of debris that is headed for the fruited. Captain Finial Bright of the Republic Defense Coalition gives his life when the rescue operation is in full swing so that his subordinates Inaman and Peoples can rescue the injured crew of Solar Array 22X before it catches fire. The liquid Tybana tank is on course for the largest of the system's suns when Kriss realizes she has overlooked something and scans a piece of trash that grabs her attention. Admiral Kronera explains to Kriss what it means: because the star is our class, it will almost quadruple in size and start producing radiation that is fatal to the life forms in the system if the tank strikes it. Kriss, desperate to preserve the system from yet another evacuation, shouts to the Jedi in the Hetzal system once more. In an effort to divert the tank from colliding with them, she gathers them together. Some competitors, including Jedi Knight Robarachi, pass away from weariness as a result of the enormous and demanding effort. Before Estela Maru recovers it, Kriss briefly misplaces the tank. They eventually succeed. With the help of Jedi from all around the galaxy, the liquid Tybana tank brushes the star's photosphere before sliding away, heated but unharmed. By broadcasting the Jedi Endeavor on the HoloNet, Kevin Tarr made sure that they unwittingly had a global audience. The Hetzal system is now intact. But the situation is not yet over. The system of Abdalis witnesses its first emergence a day later. The Legacy Run system displays 7 pieces of it. Without incident, 6 Move forward. 20 million people are killed in Abdalis when the 7th strikes. The owner of Garello Technologies, Lawrence Garello, makes the decision to move his business and staff as a result. The Nihil, a particularly terrible band of marauders with a recent history of leaving few survivors, assault the ship, but not just any pirates do so, they are specifically for the convoy. Not among them is Garello. Chris, as well as Yariel Poof and Joram Mali, members of the Jedi High Council, as well as Admiral Pavel Kronera, Senator Izzet Noor of Sereno, Secretary of Transportation Jeff Olarilia, and Master Skier, Mali's second at the Starlight Beacon, are present at a meeting about the recent disasters held by Supreme Chancellor Lena So on Coruscant. Noor cautions that So's decision to keep Hetzal's hyperspace shutdown in place for hundreds of parsecs until further notice risks strangling the Outer Rim. There have been 15 emergencies so far, but neither the reason for them nor the likelihood of another one occurring are known. The Jedi affirm that there is no evidence to suggest that Force users are to blame for the catastrophe. So promises Noor that she would permit restricted shipping of necessities so that nobody goes hungry, and asks Kronera to make sure the RDC is dispersed so that it can enforce the ban in what will be the Coalition's biggest mobilization in a while. The Chancellor feels that the Starlight Beacon's dedication ceremony must take place as scheduled, in 30 days, as part of her intentions to increase the Republic's influence throughout the galaxy. Mali and Chris concur that the station is virtually finished. So declares that the group must identify the underlying causes of the problem by the ceremonial date, otherwise the Republic may come to an end. Chris, her friend Elzar Mann, Secretary Larilia, Senator Noor, and Kevin Tarr talk about the situation as the Legacy Run's wreckage is put back together in the Hetzal system as the hyperspace blockage continues to grow with each new emergence. According to Tarr, he could duplicate the surveillance system he employed during the tragedy and be able to foresee future emergencies if he had enough Navi droids. He has the support of Chris and Mann, and Larilia swears to bring Kevin the droids. The Mutun advises the two Jedi to go see the San Tekka clan, an established family of hyperspace prospectors who might be able to assist. The Tempest runners Panida, Kassav Miliko, and Laur Nadi organize a celebration in the Great Hall of the Nihil to honor the most recent raid. The Eye of the Nihil Martian RO believes that a temporary pause in operations is necessary in the wake of the Great Disaster because there is a risk that the Republic and Jedi will learn about their capabilities. These unique hyperspace paths allow the Nihil to travel in ways that others cannot. It will take place because one of the Tempest runners concurs with him. Nevertheless, Laur Nadi convinces RO to agree to a task suggested by one of her clouds, kidnapping a family from the Outer Rim world Elfrana in order to demand a ransom from their affluent relatives. But because Elfrana is home to a Jedi outpost, acceptance is conditional upon heeding a caution not to attract the Jedi's attention. Belzetafar is hurled from a cliff at the same outpost by his masters so he might learn controlled fall. However, when he fails, as Great Storm foresaw, Indira Stokes catches him. But more than 30 kilometers away, past Ogden's Hope, Nihil raiders attack the Blythe family's homestead. Ogden's Hope security is too afraid to respond when they learn that the Nihil are attacking, so the Blythes attempt to seal themselves inside and ask for assistance while utilizing digging droids to protect themselves. As a result of the pirates being attacked by the droids, some of them believe they must also harm some of the Blythes. The Jedi at the outpost have just finished eating Porter Engel's 9-egg stew for breakfast when they receive a call informing them of the attack, leading them to leave on a rescue mission. Chris and Mann travel to Naboo and stop by the San Tekka estate in the Lake Country. Marlo and Velis, the clan leaders, offer their Nebulators assistance with the intended droid array. When the two are told additional information about what happened to the Legacy Run, such as the fact that it appeared to have been attempting to avoid a collision, they vehemently deny that such a thing could have happened. Chris discourages Mann from performing a mind trick on Marlo despite the fact that Mann can tell they are lying. The San Tekkas agree to assist, but as the Jedi depart, Chris informs Mann that if their investigation gives up no leads, they will examine the prospectors once more. While everything is going on, Marlowe and Velis are worried because they only know of one person who is capable of doing what the calamity makes them think of, and even if she were still alive, she would be beyond ancient. Inadvertently imprisoned in a medical capsule on board the Gaze Electric, Rose flagship, Mari Santeka is still alive and has been using her special talent to calculate the paths for him and his family for millennia. When Aro learns she has the ability to foretell emergencies, she comes up with a plan to help the Nihil by providing the information to the Tempest runners. Though he intends to alter the crew in order to launch an attack against the Jedi and the Republic, he has other plans for the pirates. When the Jedi arrive at the Blythe homestead on Elfrana in their vanguard, they find it in flames. Great Storm, Zetafar, and Engel search the blazing home for the Nihil's destroyed speeder as Stokes keeps watch from a distance in a Veil speeder. Because the farmstead is situated in a location where flying is not feasible due to Elfrana's magnetic field, Engel surmises that the pirates stole steels to transfer themselves and their prisoners to their starship. Although the three Jedi are able to remove the moles, one destroys their vehicle. The invaders' mole mines turn out to be a terrible surprise. Great Storm, Zetafar, and Engel commandeer the remaining steels for pursuit while Indira returns to the outpost to get a vector. Great Storm also takes a cannon from the vanguard and brings it with him. The survivors of the Legacy Run are welcomed on board the hospital ship Panacea at a reception in the Hetzal system. Nibasek, Buryaga Agaburi, and the Adrons are all present. The Wookiee Padawan notices Serja Carrion, a lonely child who is sitting in a corner and ignoring a therapy droid, as he feels uneasy about being there and feeling alienated because most people there can't understand him anyway. Despite the language barrier, Agaburi is able to communicate with the little youngster and discovers that Carrion holds himself responsible for the catastrophe since he cut into the bridge in an effort to avenge Captain Kasset for reprimanding him while intending to play a video on the screens. Additionally, Carrion was able to observe what the Legacy Run was attempting to avoid. Carrion is brought to his owner, Asek, by Agaburi, who is able to convince him to tell her what he saw: 3 lightning bolts. The Blythes are being taken by their abductors on Elfrana aboard a stolen repulsor cart drawn by stolen steels. While Ada is comatose, B is afraid, and they are being watched over by Asaria. An irritable Trandos Han, Erica, and Ron Blythe have both seen signs of pursuit. Asaria the guard is slain, but the Cloud Dent and her crew recover control, knocking Ada out once more, and set up an ambush for whatever is coming. Ada discloses his faked coma at the perfect time when the Nihil notice they are being followed. Erica feels encouraged despite the setback when she notices that the pursuers are Jedi when they draw their lightsabers. Kassav Miliko has a scheme to get rich on board the new Elite, which has just arrived in the Eriadu system. He phones the governor of Eriadu, Muralvine, and tries to blackmail her into paying him to remove the trash because he knows that other pieces of debris would shortly emerge in the system. After a convoy of Lawmite shipments is sunk and Miliko threatens to attack Eriadu's populated moon if she doesn't pay, Veen reluctantly agrees to her terms. The third and last piece of debris, however, escapes destruction by Miliko's crew, causing it to strike the moon. Veen swears vengeance on Miliko, forcing the new Elite to flee back to the Nihil. Kevin Tarr is getting ready to activate his collection of 57,817 Navi droids on the rooted moon of Hetzal in front of a wide range of guests, including Secretary Larilia, Senator Noor, and his assistant Jenny Watero, and Jedi Chris and Man. Tar activates the array despite secretly wishing he had many more droids. Tar worries that the array will blow out before it has even finished mimicking the emergencies that have already happened, which is justified when the array starts to overheat and droids start to burn out. However, Man comes up with a virtually impossible plan and, with Chris' assistance, conjures a storm to cool the array. The array now functions as Tar had intended, accurately forecasting the upcoming 34th emergence, which has not yet happened. While he deals with the pirates, Porter Engel orders Great Storm and Zetafar to pursue after his Steely, which was killed by the Nihil lying in wait on Elfrana. When one of the pirates turns out to be resistant to headshots, he receives help from Ember the Charhound, which he discovers to be rather straightforward to execute. Engel takes the Steela that the pirate stole and keeps after him. The Jedi Master destroys one of the Nihil ships with his salvaged cannon as Great Storm and Zettifar catch up to the pirates. Erica Blythe is hurt by the pirates, who also throw her into the sand, but Great Storm repels them just in time for Indira to show up with both vectors, controlling one of them remotely using the Force. As the pirates depart, Great Storm and Zettifar join Stokes in pursuit, and Engel, who has caught up, rescues Erica after she has been hurt. A Republic rescue team composed of the Adrons in the Aurora 3, Tiami and Michael Sutmani in their vectors, and 3 other long beams arrive in response to the 39th emergence in a barren area of space. The Republic and the Nihil have determined that this is one of the likely locations for the flight recorder of the Legacy run to appear, thus the stealthy Laurna D is also watching from a distance. One long beam stays behind to help out since this emergence is only a passenger compartment while everyone else departs for the 41st emergence. The bridge section that everyone has been waiting for finally materializes this time. Tiami and the crew of one long beam are killed in an attack launched by Laurna, but Michael, the Adrons, and the crew of the second long beam are able to recover the recorder before the Tempest Runner can destroy it, forcing her to retreat. As her scheme breaks apart all around her and the Jedi are pursuing her, Dent the Cloud starts to panic. She seeks assistance from her storm, Zoa Fulvertom, but is not given the assurance of a fresh path to freedom. As a result, she decides to order the Blythe daughter to be tossed from her ship in an effort to escape the Jedi's attention. Avar calls a meeting of the task committee appointed by the Chancellor to identify the origin of the emergences aboard the Third Horizon. Kevin Tarr tells Lena about the Nihil ship that started the tragedy and the Marauders' following activities at Ariadu and elsewhere. Lena also learns that the Kur Nebula was the origin of the Nihil spacecraft that started the calamity. She gives the command to Admiral Kronera to assemble a force from the RDC Treaty worlds in order to track down and capture the Nihil. Martian RO meets with the Tempest Runners in the Great Hall of the Nihil and warns them that everyone in the Nihil is in danger. Martian says that he has a plan to fix everything after maiming Kassav in a fight, indicating a permanent change in the Marauders' power dynamics. Laurna D is sent to assist with the work on Elfrana, while Kassav and his Tempest are sent to the Kur Nebula with the promise that they would be able to intercept or destroy the Legacy Run's flight recorder before the Republic can obtain all of the data from it. Bell, who has finally mastered controlled descent, leaps out of his Enlodens vector on Elfrana to save the B Blythe that was thrown from the Nihil spacecraft and is in danger of falling. The Masters debate whether they should aid the Republic in finding the pirates during a meeting of the Jedi High Council to discuss the crisis. Apo Rank Isis contends that although they are not currently a military power, they once were and participated in and triumphed in the Great Sith War. The choice ultimately rests with Joram Mali, who decides to board the Ataraxia and follow the orders of the Force by joining Admiral Kronera's fleet.